Hello, Maranatha. I'm Deb Larson, head of school. At Maranatha, it's well known that we constantly seek innovative ways to educate our students. But why don't we just keep things simple and educate our students the same way that others do? Well, before I answer this question, I'm reminded of an old story that begins with a husband asking his wife, "Honey, why do we cut the ends off a roast before we cook it?" She smiled, "Because my mother did it that way." Curious, the husband called his wife's mother and asked her the same question. When she gave an identical answer, he called his wife's grandmother. The moment the elderly woman heard the question, she laughed and said, "I don't know why they cut the ends off the roast, but I did it that way because the full roast wouldn't fit in my pan." Well, that story is funny. It helps to illustrate just how easy it is to get caught up in doing the same things the same way you saw someone else do them. It takes insight, fearlessness, and clear direction to recognize when it's time to do something different. Jesus understood the role of change and reprimanded those who stood in the way of innovation. In Mark 2:18 through 21, we learned that John's disciples and the Pharisees were fasting, yet Jesus' disciples were not. This drew some questions from them who were used to doing things in a particular way. And Jesus answered, "Can the wedding guests fast while the bridegroom is with them?" Then he continues, "The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and they will fast on that day. No one sews a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment. If he does, the patch tears away from it, the new from the old, and a worse tear is made." As you can see, the Pharisees badgered Jesus because he didn't force his disciples to fast. Jesus informed them that he hadn't come to patch an old system. Such as effort would have been foolish as putting a patch on an unshrunk cloth and an old garment. He had something new to impart. Innovation and transformation challenge existing mindsets. To change, we must reorder our thought process and see things in new ways. The idea that the Messiah would suffer and serve while living a life of poverty and humility before dying on the cross, right next to criminals, was unthinkable. Jesus was an innovator and a change agent. At Maranatha, we see college prep education differently than most other schools. Knowing that incorporating biblical and innovative concepts into our curriculum will develop a much-needed change agent in our society. Thank you for your continued trust and partnership as we co-partner with you parents to create co-creators of tomorrow. Stay anchored in Jesus, Maranatha.